Welcome to Arkansas, a state often whispered about as the natural state, where the land itself feels alive. Mountains rise like ancient guardians, valleys cradle quiet towns, forests stretch endlessly, and fertile plains glow beneath the sun. Clear lakes, alive with the shimmer of morning light, dot the landscape like jewels, and abundant wildlife finds shelter in every corner. Tourism thrives here, not because it was built for it, but because nature made it inevitable. Long before highways cut across its hills and before bridges connected its borders, this place was known to wandering tribes, to those who lived with the rhythm of the rivers. Spanish explorers stepped ashore in the 16th century, followed by the French in the 17th. They left marks on maps, on language, and on the stories told by the fires at night. In 1803, with the Louisiana Purchase, Arkansas became part of a growing nation. Yet for decades, it remained mostly rural, bypassed by migration routes that favored other lands. That isolation preserved something rare, a slower way of life, a deeper connection to earth and season. In the heart of central Arkansas lies a haven known as Bell Slough Wildlife Management Area, tucked quietly between Little Rock and Conway. Here, 2,366 acres of woodlands and wetlands breathe in harmony. It feels like stepping into another world, one shaped by water that moves slowly, carrying the scent of earth and life. A narrow path called the Kenny Vernon Nature Trail meanders through this sanctuary. Along the way, soft leaves crunch beneath your feet, and you pause at the observation deck, where mounted binoculars wait for curious eyes. The air is alive with birdsong, migratory flocks passing overhead, herons lifting from shallow pools, and the rustle of unseen animals in the brush. Educational signs line the way, sharing secrets of amphibians, reptiles, and waterfowl that thrive in these hidden waters. In spring, the wetlands bloom with color. In autumn, the trees release gold and amber leaves that swirl in the breeze. Time seems to slow in Bell Slough, and you begin to feel the heartbeat of nature itself. Travel northwest and you'll find Lake Sequoia, a serene expanse where land and water meet in quiet conversation. Covering 1,400 acres of land and 389 acres of water, this lake was once built to serve as a reservoir for Fayetteville. Today, it has been reclaimed by the rhythm of life, by families picnicking under shady trees, by anglers casting lines into shimmering shallows, by the great blue heron standing perfectly still in the reeds. You walk along its trails and hear the gentle lap of water against the shore. The wind carries the scent of pine and cool earth. Above you, an eagle arcs wide across the sky, its reflection gliding across the lake's surface. A boat drifts silently, a figure inside resting hands on oars, listening to nothing but the hum of insects and the whisper of leaves. This is a place where even time feels like it pauses, allowing you to simply be. far to the east, where Arkansas meets the great Mississippi River, rises the Memphis, Arkansas Memorial Bridge. Its steel frame, built in 1949, gleams softly in the morning light. You stand at the edge, feeling the steady wind that rushes across the water, and you think of all who have crossed before. Farmers taking goods to market, families searching for new beginnings, dreamers chasing something beyond the horizon. This bridge replaced narrow lanes and old wooden viaducts, a testament to the state's growth and the human need to connect. From below, the river moves broad and slow, carrying echoes of steamboats and the scent of distant rain. Lights twinkle along its spans at night, reflected in the dark waters, creating a vision of movement and stillness combined. And then there is the White River, a ribbon of life that winds for 720 miles, circling the Ozarks before merging with the Mississippi. Near the Bull Shoals Dam, anglers wade into chilled waters, their lines slicing through mist. Trout dart beneath, flashes of silver and gold in the current. The banks are lined with sycamores whose roots grip the soil like ancient fingers, holding stories older than any map. This river is more than water. It is a living archive. It has fed families, powered mills, carried goods, and soothed countless souls who sat by its banks listening to the endless murmur. At sunset, the sky burns orange and pink, mirrored on the river's surface. Time feels circular here, past and present flowing together, never truly separate. Hidden in the forested hills of Bentonville, Crystal Bridge's Museum of American Art feels like a dream woven from timber, glass, and local stone. Its pavilions float above two spring-fed ponds, connected by graceful bridges that lead you through galleries celebrating the American spirit. In the early morning, mist clings to the trees and soft light dances across the water, creating layers of reflections that seem almost alive. Founded by philanthropist Alice Walton, the museum was created on the belief that art should be free and accessible to everyone. Architect Moshe Safdie designed the buildings to blend seamlessly with the woods around them. Walking along the wooded paths, you breathe in the earthy scent of moss and pine before stepping into a quiet gallery where paintings tell stories of hope, struggle, and freedom. Outside, sculptures stand among the trees, their shapes softened by leaves and birdsong. Here, art and nature merge into a single experience, reminding you that beauty thrives in stillness. Tucked away near Devil's Den State Park lies a short trail leading to the Moonshiner's Cave, a place wrapped in folklore and shadow. In the cool morning light, the 0.8-mile path winds through dense woods where the air smells of wet leaves and wild herbs. Water trickles softly over stones, guiding you toward an old bluff shelter. There, a crumbling rock wall still stands, marked by carved initials and the year 1905, quiet witnesses to the lives that once passed through. Local legend whispers that this cave sheltered bootleggers during the early 20th century, a hidden spot for secret stills and forbidden spirits. Whether true or not, the story lingers in the cool, dark air as you step inside. Your footsteps echo against damp stone while droplets fall in a steady rhythm. It's a place where history and imagination blur, where silence seems to hold 1,000 untold tales. Just a few miles from downtown Fayetteville, Compton Park opens like a breath of fresh air. Designed as the city's first true river access park, it nestles along the clear waters of the West Fork of the White River. Sunlight flickers through tall sycamores, and the soft murmur of the current creates a calming soundtrack for your visit. You can wander the trails that connect to the city's cycling paths, or simply sit along the bank, feeling the breeze that carries the scent of damp earth and wildflowers. Children laugh as they splash in the shallow water, while families unpack picnics under the shade of spreading branches. Canoes glide across the surface, paddles breaking the glassy water in gentle strokes. Compton Park is more than just a park. It is a gathering place where nature and community meet in harmony. Flowing quietly through the heart of Siloam Springs, Sauger Creek carries with it stories from centuries past. This 13.4-mile stream winds into Flint Creek and eventually becomes part of the Great Mississippi River system. In the late 1800s, a man-made channel was built through town, lined with brick buildings that still stand as silent witnesses to time. But the water has not always been gentle. A devastating flood in 1892 swept through the business district. And another in 1972 raised the water 7 feet inside some shops, claiming lives and leaving scars. Still, the people rebuilt, believing in the healing power of the springs that feed the creek. Today, gazebos and walkways trace its path. You can hear the soft gurgle of water under old bridges, and the air carries the scent of stone and flowing streams, a reminder that history runs as deep as the creek itself. In the rugged Boston Mountains, Devil's Den State Park greets visitors with shadowed forests and a labyrinth of sandstone. This park shelters the largest sandstone crevice cave system in the United States, a dark underworld where cool air drifts even on the hottest days. Evidence of Native American presence here reaches back 8,000 years. In the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps carved trails, built bridges, and shaped rustic cabins from local stone, leaving a legacy in perfect harmony with the landscape. On Fossil Flats Trail, your boots crunch through dry leaves. In spring, wildflowers line the path, and in autumn, the ground glows gold and copper with fallen leaves. A stream sings somewhere beyond the trees, and the forest smells of damp earth and pine needles. This park is not only a destination, but a journey into history, into the wild, and into a quiet sense of belonging that only nature can give. Step into the Ozarks St. Francis National Forests, and you enter a vast, breathing world of green that stretches across northern and central Arkansas. Over 1.2 million acres roll out before you, ridges and valleys draped in oaks and pines, rivers cutting through ancient rock, and trails that seem to go on forever. The air is alive with the scent of damp earth and leaves, a fragrance that shifts with the seasons. Wildflowers in spring, sun-warmed pine in summer, and crisp, golden leaves in autumn. Wilderness areas lie hidden within these forests, places where the sound of wind in the trees is the only music you hear. Hikers tread softly on paths that wind past waterfalls and secret grottos. Horseback riders follow old logging roads, while kayakers drift along scenic rivers. At night, Campfires flicker under skies so clear you can trace the Milky Way with your fingertips. These forests are more than just land. They are living history, shaped by ancient peoples, settlers, and generations of explorers who came seeking solace, adventure, and a sense of home. On the western edge of the Ozarks lies Fort Smith Lake, a shimmering mirror framed by rugged hills. Early morning brings a hush over the water, the surface smooth as glass, broken only by the ripple of a heron taking flight. This lake is the western terminus of the 240-mile Ozark Highlands Trail, and it feels like a hidden sanctuary for those who wander its banks. Campgrounds nestle beneath tall trees, their picnic tables sprinkled with pine needles. You can spend the day fishing from a quiet dock or set out on a kayak to explore hidden inlets. Trails twist through forested hills, leading to overlooks where the breeze carries the earthy scent of moss and distant rain. In the evening, the sky turns rose and gold, reflected in the water, and the lake feels timeless, like a memory of simpler days. Here, families gather, friends laugh by the fire, and the night hums softly with crickets and owls. Between Elkins and Thomasville, the quiet community of Durham rests in a valley carved by the White River. The road leading in curves gently, revealing fields dotted with wildflowers and forests that shift from bright green in summer to amber in fall. At 1,247 feet above sea level, Durham feels high enough to be kissed by the clouds. This unincorporated settlement began humbly in 1873 with a small post office and has retained a quiet charm ever since. The scenery alone feels like a painting: rolling hills, winding streams, and distant mountains that catch the evening light. Time slows here. You hear the rush of the river and the rustle of leaves, and it's easy to imagine the generations who have lived simply on this land. Though small, Durham carries the essence of Arkansas: beauty unspoiled, history whispered in every breeze. In the northwest corner of Arkansas, Siloam Springs blooms like a peaceful oasis. Sager Creek flows gently through its heart, weaving around parks, gazebos, and shaded walkways. The creek's waters once drew settlers for their rumored healing qualities, and to this day, the town feels touched by something restorative. You can stroll along the creek under old sycamores, hearing the soft gurgle of water mingling with birdsong. Bridges arch gracefully over the stream, leading you toward fountains and benches where locals pause to chat or read. The history runs deep, from Simon Sager's original homestead in 1835 to the spring-fed resort era that followed, to the floods that tested and shaped the town's resilience. Today, Siloam Springs offers a blend of heritage and calm, a place where every ripple in the creek seems to carry a story. Nestled in the foothills of the Ozarks, Bentonville has transformed from a quiet town into one of America's fastest-growing cultural hubs. The air here hums with possibility. Mountain bike trails wind through forested hills, drawing adventurers from across the country. Public art installations surprise you on street corners, while cafes buzz with conversation and the scent of freshly brewed coffee. Home to Walmart's global headquarters, Bentonville pulses with energy, but never loses its connection to the land. The Crystal Bridges Museum and the Momentary showcase art and innovation, while farmers' markets and festivals keep the community grounded in tradition. You can wander through a bustling square, then just minutes later find yourself pedaling down a shaded trail where the wind carries the scent of honeysuckle. Bentonville's story is one of growth, creativity, and a deep love for the Ozark landscape, a place where the future feels bright, yet rooted in the natural beauty of Arkansas. Just west of Little Rock, Pinnacle Mountain rises from the Arkansas River Valley like a silent sentinel. At sunrise, its slopes glow with shades of gold and amber, and the air carries the earthy scent of pine needles warmed by the early light. Hiking trails spiral up the mountain, some gentle, some steep and rocky, each rewarding you with sweeping views of the river, winding through a patchwork of forests and fields. On clear days, you can see far beyond the valley, the distant ridges fading into a soft blue haze. Nearby, the Big Dam Bridge stretches gracefully across the Arkansas River, the longest pedestrian and bicycle bridge in North America built specifically for recreation. As you walk across its span, the water below glimmers, and the hum of distant traffic blends with the rhythmic sound of bicycle wheels on pavement. Evening sunsets here are breathtaking, shades of tangerine and violet reflected in the river, a reminder of how Arkansas blends nature and human ingenuity so effortlessly. In the southwest corner of the state lies a place where ordinary soil hides extraordinary treasures. Crater of Diamonds. State Park is the only diamond-producing site in North America where the public can search for gems and keep what they find. The ground sparkles faintly in the sun, especially after a rain, when the minerals in the soil glisten, Visitors kneel in the dirt with hopeful smiles, sifting through earth that has yielded more than 33,000 diamonds since 1972. The legend of the 40.23-carat Uncle Sam diamond still whispers through the park, inspiring prospectors young and old. The atmosphere here is electric, filled with anticipation and the quiet scrape of shovels in the soil. Beyond the digging fields, wildflowers sway in the breeze, and the Arkansas sky opens wide above, a constant reminder that hidden wonders often rest just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. In the heart of Fayetteville stands the Washington County Historic Courthouse, a monument to resilience and heritage. Built in 1905, its Richardsonian Romanesque style commands attention, with arched windows, grand stairways, and intricate stonework that glows warm in the evening sun. You can almost feel the weight of history in its halls, where coal-burning fireplaces once warmed the county's leaders, and the creak of wooden floors echoed with decisions that shaped the community. Restored lovingly between 2006 and 2010, the courthouse now houses archives and the drug court, but its spirit remains timeless. Standing before it, you hear the distant hum of downtown traffic, mingling with the rustle of oak leaves overhead. It is not just a building. It is a keeper of stories, of trials, triumphs, and the unfolding narrative of Fayetteville itself. Surrounded by the rolling green of the Ozark Mountains, Fayetteville is a city where tradition meets youthful energy. Downtown streets hum with life, cafes spilling out onto sidewalks, live music drifting from open doors, and art installations brightening corners and plazas. The city's roots run deep, from Native American heritage to its days as a stop along the Butterfield Overland Stage route. Today, Fayetteville is home to the University of Arkansas, its campus alive with students crossing lawns dotted with ancient trees. The city's trails wind through hillsides where dogwoods bloom in spring and maples blaze red in autumn. Locals gather for festivals, farmers markets, and free concerts, sharing in the warmth of a community that feels both intimate and alive. In Fayetteville, history is not something preserved behind glass. It breathes in every stone wall, every melody, every smiling passerby. In Little Rock, the Arkansas state capitol rises in stately elegance, its dome gleaming with gold leaf that catches the sun like a beacon. Built between 1899 and 1915, this neoclassical masterpiece was modeled after the U.S. Capitol, Yet it carries its own unique presence with walls of Arkansas granite and limestone. Bronze doors that glimmer in the light, and chandeliers crafted by Tiffany of New York. Walking its marble halls, you can feel the echoes of more than a century of legislation and leadership. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of polished stone and history itself. Outside, broad steps lead you to manicured grounds, where towering trees offer shade and the hum of the city feels distant. For many, the Capitol is not just a building, but a symbol of Arkansas's journey, its struggles, triumphs, and the enduring spirit of its people. On the banks of the Arkansas River, framed by the gentle slopes of the Ouachita Mountains, lies Dardanelle, a town where history and nature quietly meet. Morning light shimmers on the river's surface, and soft breezes carry the scent of pine and fresh water. Established in the mid-1800s, Dardanelle has always been a place of crossing, a spot where explorers, traders, and dreamers paused to rest. Its name carries mysteries, whispered through old stories, perhaps from the distant Dardanelles of Turkey, or from a French settler whose name lingers in the soil. Stroll through the parks along the river, and you'll hear the call of songbirds, see anglers casting their lines, and feel the timeless rhythm of a community deeply tied to the land. Dardanelle's history lives not only in old records, but in the warm smiles of its people and the rolling waters that continue to shape its story. Nestled in the foothills of the Ozarks, Bentonville has transformed from quiet beginnings into a thriving cultural hub. In the 1830s, it was a small settlement known as Osage, named after the Native American nation that once roamed these hills. By 1836, the county took the name Benton, honoring Senator Thomas Hart Benton, a champion of Arkansas's early statehood. Today, Bentonville pulses with energy. The air hums with the whir of bicycle wheels along wooded trails and the soft conversations of visitors wandering through the Crystal Bridges Museum. Public art peeks out from corners, and a sense of forward motion blends with echoes of a pioneer past. It is a town that honors its roots while reaching eagerly toward the future, a place where the scent of fresh coffee mixes with the crisp mountain breeze, welcoming all who arrive. Just beyond the quiet towns, the Point Remove Wildlife Management Area stretches wide under the open sky. 8,780 acres of wetlands, bottomland hardwoods, and winding creeks. Dawn here is magical. Mist rises from shallow pools, and the calls of herons and geese echo softly. This land has long been a refuge for migratory birds seeking rest, for deer moving silently through the brush, and for anglers casting lines into still waters. The name Point Remove carries both geography and memory, once marking a confluence in the Arkansas River, later tied to the story of Cherokee removal. Walk the trails and you can almost hear the whispers of the past, mingling with the rustle of leaves and the gentle lap of water against the shore. It is a place that invites quiet reflection, a sanctuary where nature and history hold hands. Near Gentry, in the rolling green of Benton County, rises the Flint Creek Power Plant, a testament to industry balanced with the natural world. Built in the late 1970s, it stands near a reservoir created by damming Little Flint Creek. On calm mornings, the lake reflects the sky like a mirror, while fishermen quietly set out to seek bass and crappie in its waters. Despite its industrial purpose, the plant and lake have become part of the community's rhythm. Trails nearby invite walkers, and the sound of distant turbines mingles with birdsong. This place is a reminder that Arkansas's story is not just of forests and rivers, but also of progress, of how people have harnessed the land's gifts while learning to care for them. High above Fayetteville, Mount Sequoia rises gently, crowned with trees that shift from green to fiery red and gold as seasons turn. In the early 20th century, this hilltop was chosen as a retreat, a place where people could gather for worship, reflection, and learning. Named for Sequoia, the Cherokee genius who created the syllabary for his people, the mountain carries an air of quiet reverence. Trails wind through oak and hickory groves, where the forest floor is carpeted with leaves and dappled sunlight. The Mount Sequoia Center still hosts gatherings, concerts, workshops, and retreats that inspire creativity and connection. Standing at an overlook, the city of Fayetteville unfolds below like a patchwork quilt, and the evening breeze carries the faint sound of laughter and distant church bells. It is a place where history and hope share the same horizon. The Illinois River winds gently through the borderlands of northwest Arkansas, threading its way through hills draped in hardwood forests and valleys alive with wildflowers. Early morning on the river feels like stepping into a living painting. Soft mist rises from the water's surface. Herons glide low in search of fish, and the steady ripple of the current sings a song older than the towns along its banks. This river is more than a channel of water. It is a lifeline. Its watershed stretches wide, feeding into creeks like Flint and Barren Fork, and eventually merging with the Arkansas River before joining the Mississippi. In recent years, as population growth has pressed close to its shores, communities have come together to protect and restore these waters. Conservation programs encourage gentle recreation, kayakers paddling in silence, anglers releasing their catch, families picnicking on grassy banks. To know the Illinois River is to understand how nature's gifts can endure when people choose to cherish them. Southward, in Van Buren, Lee Creek Park spreads out over more than 100 acres, where the Arkansas River and Lee Creek meet. It is a place where families gather under tall oaks, where children chase each other along winding trails, and where anglers cast their lines from the quiet banks. The park holds history in its stones. Rustic cabins and structures, built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s, stand as reminders of a time when hands shaped wood and rock with patience and care. Today, those same trails lead hikers and horseback riders through shaded valleys, past limestone formations and hidden caverns. On the water, canoes and kayaks glide softly, their paddles stirring ripples that catch the golden light of sunset. Lee Creek Park is both sanctuary and playground, where Arkansas's natural charm is woven with human craftsmanship. In the heart of Fayetteville, quiet reverence resides within Fayetteville National Cemetery. Established in 1867, the grounds hold the stories of thousands of soldiers who never returned home. Neatly aligned headstones stand among manicured lawns, and the central flagpole rises proudly against the blue Arkansas sky. Walk the circular paths, and you may hear the echo of history. Union soldiers from Civil War battlefields like Pea Ridge and Prairie Grove rest here. Their names sometimes unknown, but their sacrifice remembered. Dogwoods and maples cast shifting shadows across the grass, and in spring, wildflowers bloom softly around the markers. This place is not only for mourning, but also for reflection and gratitude. It is a testament to the deep roots of Arkansas's past, honored with every quiet footstep. Far to the west, Mount Magazine towers above the surrounding landscape at 2,007 feet, the highest point in Arkansas. The climb to its summit is a journey through changing worlds, pine forests giving way to rocky overlooks, cool streams trickling through moss-covered stones, and wide-open views that make the heart pause. At the top, winds sweep across the bluffs, carrying scents of wildflowers and damp earth. Hawks circle overhead, and in winter, patches of frost shimmer like scattered diamonds. Mount Magazine is more than a mountain. It is an open invitation to explore. Trails lead hikers to hidden waterfalls, riders to horse paths lined with wild blueberries, and adventurers to steep cliffs perfect for rock climbing. In the evening, as the sun melts into the horizon, the sky glows with gold and violet, and the mountain seems to breathe with timeless calm. Along the Arkansas River, the city of Little Rock took its name from something simple and enduring: a rock. French explorer Jean-Baptiste Bernard de la Harpe first noted the small stone outcrop in 1722, calling it La Petite Roche. For early travelers, that rock was a landmark, a sign they were near safe crossing or welcoming settlement. Though much of the formation was lost during later construction, a portion still rests quietly near the River Market District, where people stroll today unaware of the centuries of footsteps before them. That humble rock gave rise to a city of culture, history, and resilience. Its name, carved from the earth itself, carries a legacy of exploration and belonging. A reminder that even small landmarks can shape the identity of an entire place. Beyond the city lights, Arkansas reveals its heartbeat in its folk culture. In small towns and rural hillsides, you can still find artisans carving wooden bowls, weaving baskets, and shaping clay with hands that move as their grandparents once did. Bluegrass banjos and fiddles carry on the breeze at county fairs, and the soulful strains of Delta blues rise from porches as twilight sets in. This music is not just entertainment. It is memory set to melody, stories carried from one generation to the next. Each note tells of hardships, of laughter under open skies, of love found and lost among the pine woods and prairies. Festivals celebrate these traditions with square dancing, hand-stitched quilts hung like bright flags, and storytellers who weave magic out of words and rhythm. In Arkansas, the arts are not distant. They are alive, woven into daily life, spilling from front porches, echoing through valleys and over fields. They are the soundtrack to fishing trips, barn raisings, and long drives on winding mountain roads. Then there is the wild, untamed beauty of the Buffalo National River, winding 135 miles through the rugged Ozark Mountains. Here, time seems to slow. The river runs clear over smooth stones, cutting deep into limestone bluffs that rise like silent cathedrals. Early morning mists hover over still pools, while kingfishers dart along the shoreline and deer step softly through the underbrush. This was America's first national river, and it remains one of the last free-flowing ones, unshackled by dams or diversions. Paddle a canoe here, and you'll feel the steady pull of the current, carrying you past sheer cliffs and ancient caves. Along the banks lie the remnants of homesteads, weathered cabins where settlers carved out a life from the land. Hikers follow trails that twist through forests, dappled with sunlight, crossing small streams and stumbling upon overlooks that make the heart race. At night, far from city glow, the sky unfolds a blanket of stars, each one mirrored on the dark surface of the water below. The Buffalo is not just a river, it is a sanctuary, a reminder of the wild places that still whisper to us. And so we come full circle, standing in a state that wears the name natural state like a badge of honor. From its high mountains and deep forests to its rolling plains and shining rivers, Arkansas is a landscape alive with wonder. Its people carry stories in their songs and pride in their craft. Its towns, whether bustling capitals or quiet hamlets, welcome travelers with open arms and genuine smiles. You can feel it in the crisp air atop Mount Magazine, in the hush of Buffalo River mornings, in the hum of a fiddle at a late summer fair. You can taste it in the sweet peaches sold roadside and the smoky barbecue cooked low and slow. This is a land where history and nature are not separate, but entwined, each shaping the other. So linger a little longer. Walk its trails, cross its bridges, listen to its music, and let the spirit of Arkansas seep into your heart. When you leave, you'll carry with you more than memories. You'll carry the quiet, enduring magic of a place that feels both ancient and endlessly alive.